I think that it would be easier for me and for you to follow along if I started creating the teapot on a different layer.
This video is brought to you by EpiPies Academy.
Creating a new layer is extremely simple. I'll just go to the Layers panel, and down here is the Create New Layer button, which I could simply click to quickly create a new layer. But I want to do a bit more, and I would encourage you guys to work in the same manner because it's a good practice to keep everything organized. So instead of just clicking here, I will Alt-click to get some more options upon creating a new layer. And in this dialog box, I just want to name the layer, maybe teapot. I also want to turn the visibility of the base layer off so it doesn't block our view, and for that I will simply click this eye icon next to the layer. Okay, now if you think that I've created the main symbol, the pot that is, with a pen tool, well, you're wrong. Well, not completely, but almost, if that makes any sense. I mean, to create it, we're going to use simple tools and transformations, and the pen tool will come in handy just for one click. Okay, I'll start with selecting the spiral tool. And holding down the Shift key, I'll create a spiral just like so. I can play around with the segments if I want to, but I think less is better in this case. And this is important here, guys. I'm holding down the Shift key so I can rotate the spiral in 45-degree increments, because I want the spiral to be nicely leveled. I also wanted to give it a nice orange stroke. And I don't want it to have any fill. Now, let me grab the ellipse tool, and I'm going to create an ellipse. I want it to be a bit taller than wider, and I want to give it a nice orange stroke as well. Of course, I don't need the full ellipse, I only want the bottom part of it. So, with the Direct Selection tool, I'm going to select the top anchor point and hit Delete. I need to reposition the half ellipse that will be the main part of the pot. I will move it around until it aligns properly with the bottom end of the spiral. I think I'll better zoom in just to see what I'm doing a bit better. Quick side note here, guys. You probably noticed that when I move the objects around, those green lines pop up from time to time. Those green lines are called smart guides, and they help you align the objects on the fly. And if you don't see them, go to View, Smart Guides. Okay, now that I get my half ellipse repositioned, I have to, again with the Direct Selection tool, select these two anchor points and join them. And to complete the look of the pot, now I'll grab the pen tool. I'll click here, and holding down the Shift key, click somewhere here, just like that. Now, the last thing to do here is to go to the stroke palette and give it a nice thick stroke like 10 points, and choose both round cap and round join. Okay, so this was the pot. Now let's create the steam. And for that, I'm again going to use the spiral tool. And I'm going to create a spiral like this one. I'm holding down the Shift key, by the way. Now, with the pen tool, I'll click here because I want to make the steam longer, if you can make the steam longer, that is. And I will create a line, but not too long. Now, I'm gonna, with the Selection tool, select the first steam, go to the Reflect tool, Alt-click somewhere here, and I want to make sure that the vertical reflection is checked, and I'm gonna hit Copy. Now I want to make the second steam blow a bit smaller, and I want both these guys to have the same stroke width. Now, the last thing to create here is the saucer, or the plate that pot is on. For that, I'm going to create a nice simple ellipse. And I'm gonna create another one, but this one will be a bit smaller. I want to make sure that they are aligned properly, so I will align them to center. I'm gonna go to Pathfinder tool and choose minus front. Maybe I guess I will reposition the plate a bit, just like so, and voila, we got the pot ready. Now, just to keep things well organized, I'm going to select all the elements and go to Object, Group. Or I could just use the combination of Control G. Now, the last thing left for us to do is, of course, the typography. But before I do that, I want to check how I'm doing so far. So I'll turn the visibility of the base layer on, but I want to lock it so I don't accidentally do any damage to it. So I'll click right here next to the layer's name to get this padlock symbol. Now I know that the layer is locked. Okay, I'll make the symbol smaller to fit it nicely with the base layer. And now I can grab the type tool. I can click somewhere here and type Oriental. I'll change the font to Japonesa, which I picked up from thefont.com, by the way. And I want it to be dark brown. I will adjust the size of it a little bit and fix the kerning problem between the letter T and the letter A, just like so. Now, I'll quickly create a line under the text. I'll give it a nice dark brown stroke. And lastly, with the type tool selected, I will click under the line. I'll change the font to Colorgate, type in tea and coffee, and make it significantly smaller because now I want to make the letters further apart. So I'll go to the character tool in the control panel, and holding down the shift key, I will increase the tracking value so the text goes nicely under the top line and is fairly stretched. I also want to make sure it has the same dark brown fill as the top text. Okay, we are done, my friends. See how quickly we were able to create a nice looking logo? Of course, I did spend some time preparing it, but the recreation was a breeze because, as you could see, the tools and transformations we used were really simple. Okay, in the next video, we'll start creating another logo, so don't go away.